So this week's topic of Emunah Mondays was the proper way to do your part. And before we begin, this class was actually dedicated to a couple names. So it was dedicated for Leulai Nishmat for Shulika Bat Chana, Shlomo Tzvi ben Sara, and Roger Asher ben Marcel. May all their neshamas have the ultimate aliyah. As well as a refuah Shalema for Chaya Gabrielle Messouda bat Sara, and Leah Lilach bat Sara. So again, this week's topic was the proper way to do your part. And the reason I chose this topic was because it's a very known thing that, concluding last week, we were talking about how it's our duty to go out and provide ourselves a living, to go work and get ourselves a living. And in doing so, it would only be right to now follow up with what kind of living, what kind of occupation, what kind of industry, because you would think any job, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that go against the Torah. The Torah wouldn't be telling you to go work and ignore God. But at the same time, it's telling us to go and provide for ourselves, to go ahead and get an occupation, go work for our income and work for our livelihood. So they can't counter each other. So this is a breakdown on a more better understanding to the aspect of the proper way of doing your part, which is providing for your livelihood. So it's a very simple approach in regards to, it's follow your passion. Do what you enjoy doing. And it states, why just do what you enjoy? Why is that the better route? Why is passion enough? Like that, we already did that topic of, is passion enough? So this is kind of expanding on it like a level 2 aspect. And this is going to reinforce why passion is enough. And it's because we have the responsibility to provide for our livelihood. And in doing so, it's very common that you would then think we're the primary source. We're the ones putting in the effort. We're the ones doing it, and it's coming from us. And then eventually, it's very normal that you then toss Hashem away, push Hashem to the side, or it would become background. But the truth is, he should always remain primary. Because what's a vessel without the source of the blessing? We are constantly in this confusion aspect of, I have to stress so much on the vessel. And in a sense, it's true. We do have to create a vessel. But at the same time, we're not limited to just the vessel. We have to understand, yes, for the time being, we would require a vessel. But then eventually, a vessel is no longer required as long as we maintain the understanding of where the blessings are coming from. The blessings are not coming from the vessel. The vessel is just catching the blessings and containing the blessings. The blessings are coming from Hashem, not the vessel. So like when we understand that the vessel can now break, and it should not make any difference to you whatsoever, because you understand the source of the blessing, and that's Hashem. Rather, when somebody's vessel does break, they would be heartbroken or frustrated or down or questioning God. And that would show that there's more faith in the concept of the vessel than the actual source, which is Hashem. And that's where the problem begins. Because as soon as that, it's like, I have to put in more time into my business, more time into this, because I have to create more opportunities to this and that. Like the longer I pray, the less time I am at my job. Like, no. You have to understand, there's no such thing as, I'm going to go, I can't pray because I have to go to work. The counter is that it's like, what are you praying for? What are you working for? You're working for Hashem to bless you. Why not communicate with Hashem through prayer? That's literally the prayer aspect. So it's like countering one for the other, countering the whole concept of prayer or connecting to Hashem for the concept of the vessel aspect for the work, and I have to do my part, counters it, because you have to understand the source. The source is Hashem, and at no point are they contradicting each other. If you are putting the vessel or putting the job above Hashem, your connection with Hashem, that would clearly mean that it's counteracting each other. So how do we avoid that? Is a passion, doing something through passion. And not a passion like a skill set, like, I learned about this and I got really good at it. Not that. I'm talking about a natural born skill, talent that you have. Why is that the primary way? Because throughout your growth aspect of it, because you're naturally good at it, you naturally have that skill, you'll eventually figure out a way to monetize it, create a business out of it, and in growing it, you'll constantly understand it's not you. Hashem naturally gave that. He gave that to you naturally, which means that the deep, at the end of the day, it's all Hashem. It's coming from Hashem. It's very easy to keep it side by side with Hashem while growing, while making the business, while creating building an empire and creating a livelihood. It's very easy to maintain that concept of Hashem by your side because it's all founded from a skill that Hashem gave you, not a skill that was self-taught, or that whole concept of, a self-made millionaire, self-made billionaire. It's like, I took this and I educated myself on this and became this and opened this. You're eliminating the whole concept of God in doing that. Yes, Baruch Hashem, you have the skill to go ahead and learn anything. But I think we all do. We all have that skill that if we want to learn anything, we have that opportunity, especially in this day and age. Everything's right at our fingertips. If we want to learn something, we can learn anything. I think it goes beyond learning. It goes to what are you passionate about? And why is that the foundation of it? Why should that be the foundation? It's because in doing so, you can't identify what you're passionate about without knowing yourself. You're going to have to trial and error, get to know yourself really well and be like, you know what, this is my skill. This is what I'm good at. This is what I'm not good at. If you can't say what you're good at and what you're not good at, the truth is you don't know yourself. And the foundation of Emunah and Bitachon is you. It's yourself. It's your connection. If you don't know yourself, you can't know others. The same concept with love. We do this almost every week. Every other week we mention it. Love your fellow as you love yourself. If you don't love yourself, you cannot love someone else. So the same concept, if you don't know yourself, you can't know someone else. You have to know yourself, fall in love with yourself, get to know yourself. What are you good at? What are you not good at? What do you like? What do you not like? And then naturally, you'll see things and be able to make these choices. Be like, okay, this is what I want to do for a living. This is who I want to date. This is who I want to marry. This is the type of family I want to raise. You have to know yourself. You have to get to know yourself. And when you search for a passion, figuring out what you're passionate about and what skill set you have, you're getting to know yourself a bit more, and it's giving you a better understanding of yourself. And in doing so, you'll actually be able to connect to Hashem on levels that you never thought you'd be able to connect to, because you're tapping into yourself, and in yourself you'll find Hashem, because Hashem's in us. He's in each and every one of us. So that was this week's topic in regards to the proper part is a natural skill. Find out what your natural skill is. If you're a people person, you're a creative person, you're a very organized person, whatever it is. Every one of us have a natural skill. And if you don't know your natural skill, then you don't know yourself. And just expand on the fact of getting to know yourself until you can identify what's your natural skill. Because I think it's a very important thing. And it's a beautiful way to connect to Hashem is through you. Through the beauties that Hashem has given you. Every one of us have a beauty, have a talent in us. We just have to tap in and find it, discover it. And that's how we'll acknowledge and appreciate and have gratitude towards Hashem. It's because it's in us and we're tapping in and finding it. So again, I just wanted to mention the names to have in mind. For Leulai Nishmat, for Shulika Bat Chana, Shlomo Tzvi ben Sara, Roger Asher ben Marcel. May their neshamas have an ultimate aliyah, as well as a refuah Shalema for Chaya Gabrielle Messouda bat Sara and Leah Lilach bat Sara. May they have a full and speedy immediate recovery. Thank you so much.